Netflix has released a brand new teaser for One Piece, and we already covered our first general analysis of this trailer. Now, we're diving much deeper in this video. We're going to break down every single scene from the teaser, talk about what details we noticed, what these scenes actually mean, what kind of danger is waiting for us in Season 2, and what Netflix is really trying to whisper to us. We'll get into all of that in just a moment, but before we jump into the details, I have a small request for you. If you want videos like this to keep coming, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment is incredibly important to me because YouTube no longer pushes videos with low engagement. And since nearly 80% of viewers watch until the end and leave without liking the video, our videos are no longer being recommended as much as they used to be, so your support truly means everything to us. Now, let's get started. The moment the teaser dropped, I sat down and watched it, and within the very first seconds, one thing immediately stood out to me. This time, Netflix isn't saying, look, there are new places. It's saying, look, things are much more dangerous now. The tone of the teaser practically screams this. That adventurous feeling from Season 1 feels like it has been replaced with a darker, harsher atmosphere, one that comes with real consequences. We're entering the Grand Line, but instead of a we leveled up feeling, it gives off a strong sense that not everyone is safe anymore. One of the smartest things this teaser does is present Baroque Works not as individual villains, but as an entire system. It's not a bad guy showed up, got beaten, and that was it. This is an organized, hierarchical, carefully planned threat. The line mentioned in Netflix Totem, the Straw Hats are tested by an assassin package called Baroque Works, is, in my opinion, the backbone of the entire teaser. Because with that single sentence, the live-action version instantly carries over one of the most critical emotions of the Grand Line era of One Piece. The threat is no longer personal. It's institutional. The sharp, threatening language at the very beginning of the teaser is no coincidence either. The line, "You will never find the One Piece," paired with the emphasis on "your friends aren't made of rubber," highlights the crew's vulnerability rather than Luffy's. This trailer isn't playing into the easy idea of Luffy will always win. Instead, it raises a much scarier question: how can the people around Luffy be broken? And that fits the spirit of the storyline perfectly. On the Baroque Works side, the most striking name is, of course, Miss All Sunday, Nico Robin. Even in a single short shot, she carries an aura that changes the entire weight of the season. Robin isn't introduced merely as a strong character, but almost as the character that defines the tone of this season. The way her devil fruit power is presented is intentionally unsettling and far more physical. For anyone who already knows Robin, this is a clear she's coming moment. For newcomers, it leaves a first impression that says this character alone is already terrifying. And then there's Miss Wednesday Vivi. The teaser deliberately keeps her true identity ambiguous, and that's a very conscious choice. To someone unfamiliar with the story, she's just another Baroque Works agent. To longtime fans, she's the heart of the entire arc. You can feel this duality even while watching the trailer. By visually placing Robin and Vivi at the forefront, Netflix is clearly signaling that Vivi will not be a background side character this season. The fact that the Baroque Works agents are brought into live action with their Mr. Miss format without any hesitation is a message in itself. Netflix didn't shy away thinking, will this look too cartoonish? Instead, they trusted the absurd yet deadly balance that defines One Piece. The tone of the teaser is chaotic and threatening at the same time. There's a strange charm that makes you smile, but beneath it lies a very real sense of danger. This was the biggest test for Season 2, and the teaser puts it right on the table within the very first minute. Mr. 3 is especially critical here, because he's one of the hardest characters to adapt into live action. But judging by the quick cuts in the teaser and the reactions coming out today, Netflix seems to have managed to make him look like he steps straight out of the manga. His wax-themed powers feel like they'll be more than just a comedic gimmick. They're going to shape the action and the visual design of entire scenes. And naturally, that immediately raises the question, are we heading toward Little Garden? The mere presence of Mr. 3 alone becomes a clue about which arcs we're moving into. Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, on the other hand, feel like Netflix's bold declaration of, yes, we're really going to show these crazy devil fruit powers. Explosions, weight manipulation, the feeling of crashing down from the sky, these are risky abilities to pull off in live action in terms of visual effects, choreography, and tone. By highlighting this duo in the teaser, Netflix is essentially saying, we're not running away from this, we're going to present it boldly, exactly as it is. And that's a very clear sign of why Season 2 will be darker and much larger in scale. There's also something very interesting about Miss Golden Week. She's presented with a far more threatening and unsettling aura than expected. Normally seen as a cuter character, shifting her into a stranger, more disturbing tone in live action fits perfectly with the season's darker direction. It strengthens the idea that Baroque Works isn't just powerful, it's psychologically unsettling as well. One of the blink and you miss it details that completely fired up the fandom is the Unluckies, that bizarre vulture-riding otter duo. Even their appearance in the teaser shows that Netflix isn't spending its CGI budget only on major bosses, but also on the strange fauna of the One Piece world. The message is clear: we're not just bringing the main characters, we're bringing the weirdness of this world too. Because the Grand Line isn't just big enemies, it's an entire unsettling ecosystem. One of the most noticeable things while watching this teaser is that while the Straw Hats are there, the real stars of the trailer are the villains. Normally, Netflix marketing shines the heroes first and saves the villains for later, but here, it's the exact opposite. Because the claim of this season isn't a bigger adventure, it's a bigger threat. Putting Baroque Works at the center is the fastest way to explain that the Grand Line isn't just new islands, it's a whole new world order. It's no coincidence that some outlets are already calling this teaser Rise of the Baroques. Netflix is clearly building a brand language here. Grand Line means Baroque Works. Baroque Works means an organized, merciless, constantly looming threat. So this trailer works less like a story teaser and more like an identity teaser for Season 2. The biggest missing piece everyone keeps talking about is Chopper. Every viewer is asking the same question: where is Chopper? This feels like a very deliberate marketing move. Netflix is igniting the loudest storylines tone with Baroque Works, Robin, and Vivi, but Chopper seems to be saved for a separate, massive reveal moment. Because Chopper will be the emotional heart of Season 2, and saving him for another day is essentially splitting your strongest marketing card into two. Across most of the published articles, one fixed piece of information keeps repeating. The official title of this season is One Piece Into the Grand Line, and the release date is the 10th of March 2026. The dark and threatening tone of this teaser gives even that date a completely different meaning. It's not just Season 2 is coming on March 10, it's the One Piece world is about to change dramatically on March 10. And one of the smartest things the teaser does is keep the presence of Mr. Zero hidden in the shadows. Sources clearly remind us that Baroque Works is controlled by Mr. Zero, yet we never see his face. This is a classic but extremely effective Easter egg strategy. Mention the boss, hide the face, and let curiosity grow. Netflix is basically saying, I haven't played my biggest card yet. When I step back and look at the overall structure of this teaser, one thing becomes very clear. This isn't a scene-by-scene story trailer. It's a full-on threat showcase. Netflix is intentionally hiding the story and highlighting the identity and energy of the enemies. They're not selling what will happen, they're selling what's waiting for you. And that clearly suggests that the main emotion of Season 2 will not be mystery, but pressure and unease. Putting Robin and Vivi side by side is also incredibly important. One is the dark figure that defines the tone of the season, the other is its emotional backbone. By placing them together, Netflix is telling us that this season won't just be heavier in action, but also in character-driven drama. The Grand Line doesn't just mean more fights, it means higher costs. The Baroque Works lineup shown in the teaser isn't random either. Names like Mr. 3, Mr. 5, Miss Valentine, Miss Golden Week, and Mr. 9 being presented together draw a very clear route for us. This isn't a set of enemies who will be brushed aside in a few episodes, it's a network of threats that will form the backbone of the entire season. Baroque Works is positioned less like a single arc and more like the main antagonistic force of Season 2. The fact that the trailer can introduce so many new characters with fast but clear cuts also shows how confident Netflix is about Season 2. Without overwhelming the viewer, it delivers a very strong sense that the world has grown. And that makes me think this. Season 2 is stepping out of the pleasant surprise status of Season 1 and fully embracing the identity of a truly big-scale production. And if we were to sum up this entire picture in a single sentence, this teaser isn't saying we're entering the Grand Line, it's saying the rules have changed. New enemies, a new tone, new costs. This season won't just be a journey for the Straw Hats, it will be a trial. Behind all of this marketing language, the real strategy becomes very clear. Netflix doesn't want to position Season 2 as just a follow-up season, but as the second act of One Piece. Season 1 introduced the world and made us fall in love with the characters. Now it's going to show us the price of living in that world. The system-like presentation of Baroque Works, Robin's unsettling aura, Vivi's role as the emotional core, all of it points to the same conclusion. The story is getting heavier. The deliberate hiding of Chopper is the clearest part of this strategy. It's no coincidence that everyone is asking, where is Chopper? Netflix is creating intentional silence here, because Chopper will be both the heart of this season and one of its biggest visual showcases. Saving him for a separate reveal means playing your strongest marketing card at exactly the right time. That's also why the title One Piece Into the Grand Line and the date the 10th of March 2026 feel less like simple information and more like a message. This date doesn't just mean a new season is coming, it means the tone of the story is changing. The Grand Line is no longer just new islands for the Straw Hats, it means new enemies, new losses, and new trials. And one of the biggest Easter eggs in the teaser is the fact that Mr. Zero's name is mentioned while his face remains hidden. Netflix is deliberately fueling curiosity here, because the true central threat of this season has not yet been fully placed on the table. What we're seeing in this teaser is only the tip of the iceberg. That's it from me for now. The ball is in your court. What did you take away from the teaser? Did Baroque Works feel this threatening to you as well? And do you think Netflix pushing Season 2 into such a dark tone is the right move? Especially with Chopper being deliberately hidden, does it feel like they're preparing a separate big surprise for him? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because your support not only keeps these videos going, but also makes a real difference in helping this channel grow. See you in the next video.